All right, hopefully we got our problems at least a little bit behind us. So we'll start the meeting, the Hampden Conservation Commission, June 21, 2023, and we're starting at 6:09. Okay, we got to introduce ourselves. I'm Ted Zebra, I'm co-chair.
Bonnie Giannini and the clerk.
Tom Page, member. Greg Dexter, member. John Richmond, member.
And Judy.
Judy Brewer, chair, co-chair.
That's not picking it up.
Well, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
I would hope it would pick it up, but.
Just for the recording.
Okay, a reminder that all votes will be taken by a roll call, and everybody has to speak into a mic when they're speaking.
For the recording.
For the recording. It is being recorded, by the way. And we're going to do minutes first, or do you want to leave it to the end? We'll get the other things. We'll leave these. Okay. So they are 30 sessions.
33 seconds.
33 seconds. Okay. Have anything? Do we need to read the announcement in the paper?
No.
We don't need to read it. Okay. This is for 33 sessions for location of a shed that is surrounded by a lot of wooded marsh buffer, and property has limited access to to areas that are not in some kind of buffering. It's a lot that's surrounded by the wetlands a lot.
I don't think he got that.
And they want to put in a
shed.
And Tom and I both looked at it. We did a site inspection. They also have problems with side lot and rear lot boundary problems because the house is situated very far back on the property. So most of the land is front yard. They wanted it on the side lot, but it's going to be difficult. Same with the back. So that's our discussion. Where they're going to put this shed. Judy, anything?
Do you have that sheet of photos that they sent where they chose a location?
Yeah, I think I may have one.
Yeah.
If they have a new, I put up a page of it, of their new choice.
Yes, I have the sheet of photos. Yes.
So that's on the opposite side of the property.
Yes. Right, but we don't want to read that. We need to discuss it, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Did you choose to see it? This is the. Can you pass it down? That is the photos of the various locations. Side lot, rear lot, and then the front yard. And one of the bottom ones. This here. These are the side lot, and then you have rear lot. This is the rear lot, rear and side. Yep. So the front side is the most likely location. Would you like to say something?
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I mean, when you guys had come over, we had talked about that front left side spot probably being most favorable, just because it's still outside of the 25-foot buffer, and it's still 35 feet from the side property and way in front of the rear property.
What's the resource area in question? Is it body of water?
It's a wetlands area, and there was actually some water there. When we were there, as dry as it's been, there was actually water there.
It's mostly swampy, but there is some.
It's a swamp area, you know, it's a wetlands area.
I know that's. Yeah.
But as dry as it's been, they had water there, so. Anybody else questions? Judy?
No, I think you should just vote on the determination.
Okay.
And what you decided to do was to, site the shed and on the far south edge of the property, correct?
Which is that front.
The front.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. And, it's like an impermanent structure, so there's no concrete. It's just gonna go on top of, you know, just rocks. So.
Right, yeah, I can see that, no pad is laid or
No.
anything like that.
No.
Let me read you what we have here. The report from the site visit indicated difficulty in matching on-site features to those indicated on the town GIS and Mass Mapper websites. Several areas appear to have been filled apparently without a permit. We spoke about it.
Mm-hmm.
Trees along the driveway have been cut. Commission became aware of this in the process of 4-2023, which we had sent to you.
Yep.
And a letter of notice of intent had been sent allowing the cutting to be completed. The maps for the site indicated a march along the north side of the driveway within 25 feet, such that the no disturb zone would encroach on the driveway. And the buffer would extend across the driveway and property, leaving only approximately 19 feet from the property line. Mass Mapper also indicated a hydrological connection across the northeast corner of the property that would, if perennial, extend riverfront across the front end of the property. Our determination and conditions are that applicants may site the shed on the current request on the far south edge of the property without a pad.
And that's the front yard, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah,
it's anywhere along that white fence.
Yeah, along where your fence ends, your white fence,
Mm-hmm.
continues down toward the road in that area where you've been putting most
Trees are.
or which area putting them, right?
But we can still do it afar, like away from within the property line requirements, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, no, you have to stay within, that.
Okay,
And
no, I thought you were saying like closer to the fence. Okay.
No,
No.
where the fence is,
Yes.
you draw an imaginary line forward to the
Down
street.
to the
Correct.
road.
Yes.
To the road, it would be in that area.
Yes.
So, we also asked that when you move the shed in, it's gonna come in on a big truck to stay as far away from, if you're facing the house on your driveway, away from that right side, because that's.
Yeah,
all
they'll just
protected.
come in on a.
So they're gonna have to pull in and pull to where you want it, which I'm sure
Yeah.
they're gonna do.
They actually put it on like a little motorized thingy and it drives, so it's not even a truck that
Yeah,
goes on.
Truck
Yeah.
will stay on the street.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's good.
They also, yes, Judy?
Now, I said that was good,
Okay,
the extra vehicle.
yeah. And, we want you to agree to obtain a delineation of your property and file an ANRAD within the next year. This is to have a basis for continuing planning on the site. Your previous owner buried some of the wetlands.
Yes.
So we need to have a determination of where they really are under that building. If you want to do anything else in the future, you're going to have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're asking you to do it within the next year.
How do we do that?
Pardon?
How do we do that?
Proper form, Judy, how do they do that?
You get an environmental consultant to come and evaluate the property. They'll do like soil drills and things like that. And then they'll draw a map and you submit it for confirmation. And then for the next 3 years, nobody will question where your wetlands are.
So you need to hire us,
Okay.
and we can't recommend. So, someone want to make a motion on what I just read?
I make a motion to accept that you just read.
Oh, I gotta read the other part too.
Oh.
It's gonna, the other piece of it on determinations is a negative determination, number 3. The work described on the request is within the buffer zone as defined in the regulations, but will not alter an area subject to protection under the act. Therefore, said work does not require the notice of intent for this project, subject to the following conditions, which are the conditions I just read, which includes moving the shed using the shortest path and agreeing to a delineation found in an ANRAD, which is requiring you to get an expert.
I can help you with that.
By the end of next year.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, I make a motion to accept that. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else, Judy? I missed?
Nope.
Thank you. I have to check with her.
Yeah.
She knows more than I do, so I have to go check with
I
her.
need, both of them sign that when they. You wanna wait a second,
Yeah.
I made 2 copies so we can keep one and you can leave with one.
Okay,
We'll
thank
sign
you.
them.
Sounds good.
Everybody need a pen?
Sure.
Yeah.
Chuck it.
Okay. John, you need a pen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're good to go.
Oh, I thought we had to sign, sorry.
No. Just,
Did you get my you can get my signatures, Judy.
I just wanna make sure I got.
Bonnie.
Judy, Bonnie. You
Oh, I
get
didn't
my
get your
signature?
signature, sorry,
No,
be right back.
Judy, Bonnie, whichever.
All right, I just have to get this.
Okay.
That one's gonna be.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, you can get your shed.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, take care. Hey, have a good night.
You too, thank you.
Thanks.
So that one.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, cause why don't we do him next, because the, records aren't here.
Yep.
We took him move up here.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
Is that microphone on?
Yeah.
Now we can sign. All right, Jack, would you like to give a little presentation on what you're gonna be doing?
Sure, why not? So I'm with the Boy Scouts of America. I'm planning on doing my Eagle project on the Lower Westbrook Trail. which is around the Goat Rock Trail in the Minnetonka area. My plan is I'm going to be constructing some bog bridges to go over a perpetually like muddy and soiled area, like a dearth in the trail, to make it more accessible and more usable by people. I also plan, as part of my project, to like refurbish the area. I'm going to be reblazing the area, and I know that the Land Trust also wanted the Minnetonka Land Trust to have a sign put up there, so that was also put into my proposal. That's the general idea of what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. It's a big project.
A lot of scouts that want to help him.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of guys.
Nice.
So are you doing a rigid bridge over the thing, or is this more of a floating?
No, it's more of a segmented thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of a floating thing. But
Kind of a floating,
It's not a bridge.
It's not a bridge, it's
Yeah.
more
It's
of
a walkway.
A walkway.
2 planks resting on 3 or 4 cross. But you could just pick it right up.
So you can pick it right up there,
Yes.
nothing's being buried, this is gonna
Yes.
kind of sit in the muck.
Yep, I don't have to do any concrete. I'm not laying any supports down.
Right.
So just the sheer size of the logs will support a human
Yes.
or dogs and stuff.
Yep. We just did it up at South Road.
Yes, I was there and I helped you out.
Oh, no, South Road.
Oh, a different
Yeah,
one.
you were
Okay,
on
I was at
the
your
other
other
part
one.
of West.
We have a lot of bogs.
We have a lot of bogs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other questions?
I did put a copy of his.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
When we
I
were
was
young, we
there
used
the
to go-
day that he was there. He had it. Yeah.
We got lost at Goat Rock so many times.
We get lost at Goat Rock.
I still get it.
The first proposal I said is like, can we like make a new map for Goat Rock that'll say like, you might want to take this trail,
Yeah.
but it won't take you anywhere. But
Oh.
instead, the Minnetonka Land Trust was like, yeah, we really need help over on this.
Yes, I'm glad they brought that to my attention. I'm very happy with the direction my project is going currently.
So are we actually filing? Or is
No,
this-
no, he went through Minnetonka Land Trust as well. I know you did.
This is just a vote of confidence from us per se?
Yeah, and there are some conditions. You want me to read it?
Yes, you can read.
Okay. I'm just you're gonna get this paper, but I'm just gonna do it so it's recorded. The conditions of bog bridges cannot be in the wetland, example, the marsh itself as indicated on the town GIS maps. The walkways cannot obstruct flow of the 2 small streams crossing the path near the entrance. Leave 8 inches between the structures for the turtle passage. Bridge portions should be assembled as much as practical on the entry area outside NAGSP polygon. That is near the entry road or on the parking area at either entry. Use minimally treated wood as much as feasible and no creosote treated lumber. And signage can only mention vulnerable species with no reference to the specific creatures for their protection. Can't say who they are.
All right.
Unfortunately, there were people who take advantage of that.
Yeah, and then there is a mapping here as well.
So again, I've seen where this stuff is going.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Yeah.
You
Those conditions are-
You totally approve it.
Yeah.
Your problem,
Yes.
yeah, you do.
So we don't need any formal vote, Judy.
It'd be nice to have a vote of approval.
Take your vote, okay.
Yeah, you can take a vote on it.
Okay. I,
I'll make a motion to accept the project with the conditions that have been read 1 through 6 there.
okay, second. Tom second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed.
Hey, thank you so much.
And we thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
All righty. Is there anything else that we need to take care of?
Anything else, Judy, he needs to know?
No, Jennifer will guide him what he needs.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Good luck, yeah. Oh, this other group coming?
Well,
The Greppos are coming, yeah, I heard.
not
from
until about 6:30, so.
Okay.
When we do the minutes.
Yeah, you can do the minutes.
We'll take a break and do the minutes real quick. Minutes of, where are we? 5/17.
Judy, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
On the Eversource gas line there, I know that there's nothing we can do now. It looks like it's already been voted and approved upon, but in the future, because the gas company there did a wonderful job of making a mess on Summers Road. And during the entire winter month, you watched all that mud and dirt and everything go right down the storm drain, which connects right to the Scantic River.
Mm.
In the future, could we put restrictions, because they were supposed to be done before December on that project? They went all the way up to New Year's, which means nothing would grow, nothing would be stabilized through the entire winter months. And they took down all their barriers and everything to put the road back together. So I would say for future, if the gas company or anybody's going to do anything, my opinion would be we require them to do it between June 1st and September 1st. So any grass or anything that needs to stabilize the earth again has time to grow and stabilize to do it. And also one more piece I was going to say is, I didn't see it here, is I would require them to have to street sweep when they're done, because they left all that sediment and everything behind, which immediately goes right down the storm drain.
Yeah, well, this is all going underground, up middle of the road, nothing on the side.
I know, but they're digging and all that. And the other piece, other than that little bridge piece, but it was all the road stuff.
Yeah.
And everything that they were outside of the wetland area that went into. I just sat there and watched it. You know, I took pictures too. I watched it literally run right down the side of the road, right in the storm drain. Just watched it go right out into the river.
I will make a note of that.
Yeah. And then all the, you know, they did, because everything was frozen, they did a poor patch job that all that asphalt that they patched, he came up and all that asphalt went down into the storm drain as well. So that's, I'm just saying that for the future, I'm just for future, for any road projects like that, maybe we lock them in a time frame, because I figure June just gets us out of all those heavy rains and everything. You know, I'm not saying we can't get thunderstorms and stuff, but usually all your spring rains are done. And then by September 1st, they're planting grass seed, and hopefully, you know, even that construction grass will hold, you know, enough of this soil together to make it through the winter.
I think that makes sense. If we can manage it, you know, I think that's good.
And I'm just saying, you can see here, just in the notes here, they're gonna have a trench open for almost 2 to 3 weeks under one pit under a crossing. So this is gonna take them all the way till December to do it. I'm just saying for future stuff, because I'm assuming it's gonna happen more often. They're replacing all the gas lines and rerouting Mill Road. I get Wilbraham Road would probably be the next trip.
Yeah. The one that's going to be open long is the one where they're going underground.
Yeah,
to get under the,
but I mean, we saw how long they ran into stuff at the intersection of Mill and Summers.
yes,
Took them,
yes.
almost took an extra month to the project because of that. So I'm just
Yeah.
throwing it out to give them a time frame, so you force them to have to like actually do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you by any chance know, are they gonna be done when they finish on this piece, or they have to go all the way to the East Long Meadow line? Do you know by any chance?
There's no houses with natural gas. East Long. What they're doing is it's a high pressure line that runs down the street right now.
Yeah.
And they call them farm tap boxes. It's just a box that taps off that and then feeds to the house. What they're doing is on Genevieve, there's a gate system there that actually steps it down to low, medium pressure, whatever you want to call it, 60 PSI. So they're running the high pressure, they're gonna take everybody off the high pressure, and they're running the medium, I guess you want to call it medium pressure up the road with that and refeeding all the houses with that. So you don't have what happened in the eastern part of the state where the high pressure line gets overcharged. They have no way of regulating. Genevieve's got a regulator that if that happens, it just discharges that extra pressure. So it doesn't go to your house.
The reason I asked, which she said something about connecting to East Long Meadow. When she was talking, that's why I was curious.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a line that comes the other way.
Unless they're planning on using the regulator to go the other way, but I'm just going by what I
Right. And I don't know, she said
It's
something
my
about.
understanding that they weren't even connecting to the houses with this line. This just goes up the middle of the road up to whatever that first street is, which already has a gas line. And this is another one.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the other gas line. This is just going straight up the street to connect East Long Meadow eventually.
Oh.
Yeah, she said something about connecting East Long Meadow.
Maybe
I
they're
don't
just
know if that means they're gonna dig all the way
the whole way
through,
then.
Right.
if they're gonna dig all the way down by the solar site.
But
There's already a gas line that goes up Mill Road.
yeah, it's the high pressure.
But that's off the side of it.
Yep.
They're not touching that. That's
No.
staying there. That's going to connect the whole house still.
Oh, because that one goes all the way up to the
Correct.
LNG plant in
Right.
Wilbraham Ludlow line there.
Yeah, along the river there.
Yeah.
But recently, the one they just did on Mill, they just made everybody on medium pressure there. So I'm assuming the intention was, I thought they were going to cut it over.
That wasn't what she explained for this.
Okay.
Anyhow, any questions or anything on, other than
No,
what you
just
said?
just
Anything?
information.
No. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Hi.
Okay, the Grecos are here.
Come over and sit over here.
Yeah, come on, you can sit over there. Yeah, they did.
Thank you. You're being recorded.
You have to actually declare the meeting open for this because it's a hearing, Judy?
You have to open it as a hearing, yeah.
Yeah.
Or continue the hearing, actually.
Yeah, okay, this is a continuation of a hearing for the Grecos at 19 Chapin Road for a new barn.
Why don't you start with, your site inspection? Maybe,
Okay, well,
whatever, I don't.
yeah. A couple points I'll read here. The new barn is on a piece of property that is not a farm. They're not producing or raising a commodity for commercial purposes. So the barn must be placed outside the riverfront. They don't have any farming allowances to put it out because it's not a farm. It's just a barn, if you will. The house was built 1800-ish and for 310 CMR 810.58 6B, deck sheds, pools, and patios are exempt, not barns. There is a hydraulic connection mapped across the front of. I didn't print the rest of it. Judy, I missed the page.
Oh, there's a hydraulic connection mapped across the front of the property and about 200 feet from the Scantic to the roadway from the river. So there's not a lot of area that's not at least potential riverfront.
Okay, so that's the basics. Tom and I went there and we took lots of pictures trying to understand the situation. And one of the problems we had were they have it mapped and where it looks like when you're standing there, it doesn't appear to be the same. So it's still within the buffer areas. So it's a very complex, confusing piece of property, not unlike the other one we just did a few minutes ago. And where they can physically put this barn is difficult to ascertain. There are marshland buffers, there are riverfront buffers, there's a brook river buffer. The piece of property is totally intertwined with some kind of buffers, one, you know, the 25, the hundreds, the 200s, and there's very little non-buffer area where they want to put the barn. So the problem is, what do we do? Judy?
So it really needs both a delineation, an official delineation of where the wetlands are and are not, and measuring of the distances to certain options. And it needs what's called an alternative analysis. In other words, an environmental consultant looks at the area and decides which is essentially the least worst place to put it. And that will require that you submit an NOI, a notice of intent. So it will delay your putting in the barn, but then you will have a delineation that'll be good for 3 years for citing anything else you want to do on the property.
Not really. I am. It's kind of.
It's hard to hear. Yeah.
Hard.
I know. So basically, they require a delineation of the property and where the wetlands are. So you'll have to hire an environmental contractor to send an expert out to delineate where the wetlands are, and then they'll compile that into what they call an NOI, a notice of intent, that you can submit. And then that way you'll have an accurate delineation where the wetlands are on the property. And then they'll decide from that information in the alternative analysis where the best place to put the barn is.
Best worst place.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm a little confused about that because when Tom and Ted were out and they did a measure, we were like out of the 200 feet.
But the barn location that we picked up on does not relate to the maps you provided.
The ones that we sent?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically nothing seems to match.
Yeah.
So the best solution in that occasion is to get an environmental consultant out to figure out exactly where the distances are from the riverfront, from the hydrology in the front of the property, and to do what's called the alternative analysis, which means figuring out where you can be within the guidelines to put this barn. And then the delineations that they do will be good for you extending into the future for other projects as well. It will slow down the project, but we're required to do that when it's not clear where the edges of things are.
So
We don't have enough information to determine where that barn is on the property by our estimates as compared to the wetlands and the buffers.
when you say the map, that's what we sent in, or is that the town map?
No, the map you sent in does not match.
This is the one you sent in?
No, there was the one that they had sent that also had the drawn in location.
Yeah.
That they drew in.
Yeah.
That one.
Yes, that does not match
That does not match.
where we looked at.
Their house
We
is
can't,
down here somewhere.
It's across from the dirt road. It'll be over here.
No, the dirt road is here. This
Oh,
is,
that's a dirt road?
yeah. Their house is here.
right,
If you look at the pictures we sent, it looks like the barn is here. If the barn is here, they're in the buffer.
So you can get the form off the Conservation Commission website, or you can get it from Bonnie. It's about 3 pages, but you need the consultant to fill it out for you.
an engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna environmental engineer.
What will they do?
They will, what we rough guess, they will do legally.
Oh,
Yeah, they'll also take soil samples. They'll take cores down into the soil to they'll use more different measures of the hydrology to set exactly where the lines should be. They'll also determine that stream that goes across the front, the hydrological feature, whether or not it's perennial, so that defines certain other rules. The front one probably doesn't have to be under the same rules as the Scantic, which is a perennial stream. So having all that delineated out may give you more options.
I don't
Understand
understand
this
stream.
picture with the stream that I just had.
When can you show them the hydrology map?
Yeah, this one.
You may not even be able to
Well, that
see
one,
it.
the Greco's, filed with your determination.
See, this one across the street is thrown or cleaned into your plans. This whole area is all the way up to here. Your house is here somewhere. You show the barn here. The barn looks to us more like it's here.
If we match that map to a property map with buildings shown, it's in a different place.
Yeah. It's not really about their map drawing skills, though. It's really about
So that's why
not being able to determine where the edges of things
let an
are.
expert give real dimensions as to where things are.
Yeah, but see now, this, I mean, we're just guessing.
Right,
this.
right. And if we guess, it's here somewhere. Right here, and you can't touch these purple lines. So if it's close enough to here, then you're in violation.
So how did you determine that it was there?
Because your house is roughly here, when we looked at the distance from your house to where you got the marks for the barn, it's somewhere around here, not up there.
And if you look at the town GIS map where the house is, you have that other little shed that's there, and you wanted the barn next to that.
Well, it's up
Further
further up, 60 feet out.
A little bit, but it's closer
It's
to
not
that
as far
than
as here, at
than
least
where
it
you
doesn't
have it
appear to
drawn.
us. And that's the problem. We say one thing, you say another. So you need an expert to say where it is.
Yeah,
But also to decide where the wetlands are.
correct.
What was that?
Also for them to say where the wetlands
Where the
are.
wetlands are. Because there are so many wetlands, 25 foot, 100 foot, 200 foot, with the stream here, with Scantic here.
What stream are you talking about?
What's the name of that stream? Julie?
It's an underground connection, probably. It's a
It's not underground
hydrological
stream, it's
connection. So they can't probably see it, but
You can't see it.
the delineator will be able to do that.
Hydrological underground stream.
How do you know that? it's-
Because the GIS put out by the experts say it's there.
Judy, do you have a
Which is-
printout of that,
Since we
mapping
can't physically
showing
see
that
it, we
underground
can't
stream?
argue.
I get it.
Yeah, I sent one in to you.
They say,
Huh?
because
I sent one in
if
to
you
you.
look
You don't
at it,
have
you
it?
only see this.
We don't have it.
I sent it with the conditions.
GIS put out by
Oh,
experts say that's not totally true. There's
Today?
another underground stream,
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't,
and that is messing.
that's why I
you
don't
up.
have it.
And the expert.
Okay,
It's on the computer.
It's not true.
You
they'll
sent
say
it
it's
in,
not there.
in Gmail today? Or in,
yeah, but I could send another one just to be
So
sure.
you need an expert to confirm this. We can't, we don't have enough knowledge. But there's
I mean,
enough info there for us
Judy,
to
if
say.
you think it's in the
we
mail,
can't-
I'll go down now and see if it's there.
Get some other.
Sure. I'm pretty sure I attached
I'll go
it.
check it.
I'm thinking is from the houses up the river
And
that,
it could be,
I mean, up the road.
Yeah.
That created
yeah,
that,
and it could very well be.
that.
But see, you need an expert that's gonna say, yes, this is why, wherefores. This is where it is. These are the buffers.
By them doing that, they'll actually determine where those buffers truly are.
Yeah.
I mean, that is done by thermal imaging, helicopter flyovers, people looking at plants and all the specialty stuff.
And they come up with boring
That's-
things. And
And so then the specialist is gonna go and check to see how accurate that is. So maybe it might get bigger, and maybe it might get small. Depends on what the.
And they could say this is irrelevant and then take away your problem. But we can't do it. We don't have that.
Okay, so I didn't, this is the first I've heard. of it.
Well, this is as we kept on digging, trying to find answers.
Okay.
If you wound up, if you didn't hear that we had another person in here with somewhat the same problem. Earlier, our first meeting.
So the underground stream comes across the front of our property?
Yes. Well, I don't know if it's actually on the property, if it's, Judy can say if it's actually in the street, but it's somewhere out here.
Okay, how will that affect this project?
Because there's a 200-foot buffer on it.
On that one?
Yes,
On both of them,
yes.
No, it's underground, it's still.
It
on
is.
both of them.
Well, there might not be. If it's not a perennial one,
Right.
it
Yeah.
won't have a 200-foot buffer. It'll just have a 100-foot buffer.
She's talking.
Go ahead, Judy, again.
Go ahead.
If it's not, if the delineator determines that it's not perennial, which they can do by their soil tests and things, then it will have a smaller buffer than it would if it's a perennial stream. That would give you a lot of space.
The Scantic is perennial.
Yes.
If this is determined not to be perennial, then it's smaller.
Gotcha.
So it gives you easier.
As a for instance, I mentioned I have one at our house.
Yeah.
It got flowing enough years back, 15 years ago, enough that it took out part of my neighbor's yard, actually collapsed into the brook. Yeah. So it may not be that. It could be like Judy says, an intermittent, and it will have a much smaller buffer and it won't affect you. Or if they determine it's like what my neighbor had, then you have another resource problem to deal with.
Okay, but just say for instance, this underground stream doesn't affect this. Go ahead and do it where it is.
No, because they're doing it, they have to check it both, they're
We
doing
have to
both
check
things.
off of both rivers.
They got here, and then they got here.
Right. So if we're within the 200 feet, we can't build a bottom, or is there variation?
Well, then they'll do the alternatives analysis and decide what is the least worst place that you can
Right.
put it, essentially.
We did the alternative already.
If, like, for instance, you're only over a couple feet, for instance.
Yep.
And there's no other place to put it.
Yep.
Maybe.
But it's so convoluted right now that we can't determine.
Okay,
So we want you to get an expert.
so where do you get this expert?
She can talk to you.
She needs.
Bonnie can provide you with a list. Or you can find one in the
List
phone
of
book
what else
under,
in the office.
Environmental engineer.
Oh,
So maybe we measured this wrong.
And that may
Should
be,
we- Should
but
we go out and measure?
no,
Yeah.
because it's confusing enough that we won't accept what you've got, and we won't accept what we have.
Okay.
You need to get an expert, because if this is wrong, and if it's here where we think it is, that puts you in a bad spot. Because you're now into the buffer or deficit.
All right.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I think.
There's too many uncertainties for us to do anything.
Okay, understood.
You need a expert.
Okay, so we hire an expert and he comes out and.
Our sheet, a lot of our sheets.
Yeah, oh, sure,
Yeah.
and,
So they'll check the land, they'll put it on a map for you,
yeah,
so you can see it, and then they'll probably ask you the dimension of your barn that you want, and they'll measure it and place it and say, okay, with the least amount of destruction and everything.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the Conservation Commission will approve it here as well as the DEP. I mean, not only do we approve it, the DEP has to
Right.
approve it as well, and they'll say, hey, we think this is the best spot.
Yeah.
To put it, and you'll have it on a map, we'll have it on a map, and then when it gets sent to the state, they'll review it as well,
Yeah.
and hopefully give the blessing on it all.
okay.
So that's why we're, as I mentioned to you, we gotta go to DEP.
Right.
And we know there's enough holes here that
Okay.
they wouldn't accept it, no matter what we say.
Bonnie,
What?
I just sent you and Ted the map.
What was
I
your
just
question?
resent
Just
it,
send
so
Map.
if they could
Oh,
come
you-
maybe next
want me to
week.
go down and
to
get
the
it
map from me.
Then,
No, they can come and get it when they come to get the NOI forms.
all right,
If they want
well, you'll
to.
probably be in my office tomorrow, right?
Or I could email it to them if they want.
Yeah, we can come in tomorrow.
Okay,
I could email it easily.
all right, I'll give them the map tomorrow.
Okay.
And the list of the engineers. List of the engineers too.
Yeah,
You have an idea of their cost? Does anybody have an idea?
It depends a lot on the person, but probably around between $1,500 and $2,500. Depends a lot on your property.
True.
If it goes easily and they don't find any problems, it'll be closer to the 1,500.
They'll, when you tell them what you're looking for, they'll look at it a little bit, say, okay, this is gonna be easy,
Okay,
or no, this is gonna be difficult.
okay.
Do they come out, I mean, would they come out and just give us like an idea of how much it's gonna cost before
Well,
they
I
start?
think if
all you have to do is ask them.
Ask them, when they come out, they're gonna wanna have like a free,
Oh, like a consult,
Yeah.
consult,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
and they should be able,
give us a
you give them
ballpark.
all the data you got, have it all available, have
Mhm.
copies for them.
Yep.
Make copies of it. And they'll either give you an estimate then, or they'll go home and look at it, and then get back to you and say, Mr. and Mrs. Greco, I'm gonna want X dollars, and we'll do, and they'll give you a list of what they're gonna do.
Mhm.
They'll give you a whole job description.
All right.
I do have to say that,
And you can shop around.
for you guys that weren't involved with this one too much, that they, the state did have them file through Natural Heritage. And they did get their letter back saying that, the barn as proposed would not result in a prohibited take, even though that's all mapped as under Natural Heritage, so they passed that.
Yes.
You got one
So
piece-
even if they have to move it, it's very simple. Once they have a no-take letter, they just send a map with the new location.
Yeah.
That'll be simple.
Okay, we gotta get, you know,
Well, what we have and what they have is conflicting.
Don't do
Yeah.
anything, get the consultant first.
right.
They'll do everything, they'll go out there, they'll
Yep.
GPS mark the
They'll
perimeters,
help
the
you.
edges of where all of the wetlands are. They'll, so it'll be all digitally recorded, and they'll give you a new updated map, and they'll be able to tell you exactly where you should put it, and they'll make it all into a map, and they'll even compile the NOI for you most of the time, right? They write the NOI for you.
Yeah, they'll fill it
You don't
out
have
for
to do
her
all
and
the paperwork.
everything.
Yeah, they'll do all that legal stuff for you.
And they'll do the
Yeah.
alternatives analysis if you ask.
What Judy's saying, make sure you ask them for an alternative analysis. Because if our maps are anywhere near accurate, you're probably gonna be at least somewhat in a buffer of some sort.
And if there is no reasonable alternative.
I was surprised they didn't come up with one.
Yeah, you get to put your barn up. It's just a matter of where.
Where,
Yeah.
Judy's
You know,
confident.
you won't
can
ever
do the
get
barn,
told you
it's just a
can't
matter
put
of
it up.
where.
It's just that I don't wanna put it on the other side of the
Yeah,
road. Remember when we looked at that, it would cost, you have to knock down seven.
No, you don't wanna
trees.
do that.
Yeah, you know that.
That's the only other alternative.
That's part of what they consider when they do the alternative.
Right.
That, Judy's saying that's part of what they consider.
Oh,
You have to have all your points down,
yes,
get all your points down.
Make sure that you know, this is where it's gotta go, because it can't go there, that kind of.
Right.
Like you can't go by the hill. Tom and I looked at it, we agree.
There's
That'd
no
be
way.
Yeah.
You'd do more damage trying to put it on that hill than you
Yeah.
would put in the wetlands. We
Right.
agree to that.
Right.
It's just a matter of where can you properly put it there that you do the least, you have the least impact on the wetlands and
Right.
the riverfront and that
Right.
type of stuff. That what we perceive as an underground stream, a hydraulic feature, is throwing the proverbial monkey wrench in your plan.
I think I know what this underground stream was. And it had to do with the, Chapin Road was, designed to put water into these storm drains.
Yeah.
And the storm drain, like maybe a mile, half a mile up, was emptying into a gully. It didn't like continue back and forth all the way to the river. It emptied into a gully. The gully came right across the front of our property, and that's been addressed already. We put it in a 6-inch storm drain and put a knee wall down there. We already did that with Dana Fixley.
Right.
We tied that in with the
That might be what this is.
That may be what this is, and you then have to make sure you explain all that to the
Right.
consultant.
Yeah.
So they can then write the legal papers for us, and that will satisfy DEP.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That because I think
And that's what they do. That's why you're
Yeah.
hiring that person, is to get all these different pieces together
right.
in a document
Yeah.
that we can correctly approve.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's gonna go to be totally scrutinized by DEP.
And
I
then it's
remember
kind
when-
of settled for a while.
I remember when they looked at it, they called this an isolated land subject to flooding. That was the actual quote.
Did you hear that? Isolated land subject to flooding?
And the flooding was caused by the storm drain up top of the hill. So we asked Dana if we could like put his thing there, and he tied it in with actually the storm drain at the beginning of our road. And it's working out fine. Otherwise, the whole front yard used to
That's
fill up
what's showing.
with water.
With water.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But see, that whole thing has now come forward and it's on the maps.
Okay.
And that's what's
That's
making us hesitant
Yeah.
to do anything, because there's too much there
Oh,
now.
yeah, that's.
So is it because of that alone?
No, it's everything together.
It's everything together.
That's a determination of.
You've got so many buffer zones now
Right,
that no matter how we measure it crudely, we're measuring it very crudely,
Right.
nothing seems to fit that we're not gonna be in a
okay.
buffer
I
zone.
can see, we don't need any.
And you need
Okay.
someone qualified.
Yeah.
You've gotta remember, we're only volunteers,
Right,
and we try to interpret this stuff as best we can and approve when we can. In this
Right.
case, there's just too much there for
Yeah.
us to, because if we approve it and you go home happy and you're gonna get a call from Mr. DEP and say, no.
no,
Yeah.
we need more. Yeah. Understood, that's okay. So we'll get working right on that.
We'll see Bonnie tomorrow.
Yeah,
Bonnie, I help you as much as she can.
okay.
Okay.
All right, so that means we're gonna have another meeting in another month, is that correct? Or-
Well,
Yeah.
it may not be,
We'll have to
Yeah.
see.
you may not be able to get a consultant and hired and out there and done in a month.
If
So
we can, though, we'll squeeze them in.
Hold on, what, Judy?
I said, if they can get a consultant to do it that fast, we will squeeze them in. Because we
We'll
know
squeeze
they've
you
already
in if
been
you can,
delayed.
But
Okay,
So let me ask this then, if things like now we're into almost into July. Like if we get this environmental engineer and he submits all the paperwork and for some reason. Our builder is going back down to Florida because he goes to Florida. Okay, so it's not gonna happen in the winter months.
can't build it.
So how long is this thing good for?
the thing they give you, 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
I know.
And
that's
you
what-
can get an extension on that.
And you can get an extension on it if you have to,
Okay,
but I would certainly would use it in the 3 years.
yes.
Yes, yes.
You may be able to get an environmental engineer right away and get them out quick, but you have to look at reality, you may not, you know.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
I hate to speak for everybody, but you know, if we have to, we can always hold a meeting, a special meeting too. We're holding one next week, a special meeting.
Okay. All right,
Alright,
and
so,
Scott did call me, I mean, he wondered when we could start, and I said, we're gonna have a meeting tonight, I gotta get back to you.
well, you thought it was a go, we need to tell him
Yeah.
that it's not right now.
So we're gonna have to put that
He's
on
gonna have to
paper.
put that on.
Yeah.
Cause he was gonna start contacting, contractors for pouring the pad and doing all this, and we
Mhm.
need to let him know that.
Yeah, see, that's one of the problems. If this was a smaller thing that was sitting on the ground, it'd be one thing, but you're
Yeah, you're putting in a foundation.
Yeah.
foundation,
It's a
and
building.
it's not a little
It's
10 by
gonna be-
10.
It's gonna be on the plot plan, and it's
Yeah,
not like
right.
I'm putting up a shed or something like
With
that.
the shed, it'd be, a lot easier.
Okay,
But by pouring the slab, that's considered a foundation.
yes,
Yes.
oh, yeah.
Well, doesn't matter what you call it, it's just that it's impermeable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a permanent structure.
Oh, yeah,
And you're digging into the soil.
yes,
No matter how you cut it, you're gonna disturb this.
yeah.
A shed would be exempt, actually.
Well, Scott,
All right, so.
we're still working on
Any, what else we need to do, Judy?
Judy?
Do-
You need to sign vote and sign the
Yeah,
determination.
Tom is ready to
Do
do
that
that.
right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion that this is a positive determination, number 7 here, I'm gonna read it. The notice of intent is filed for the work in the riverfront area described on reference plan and documents, which includes all or part of the work described in the requirement. The applicant must consider the following alternatives. Refer to the wetland regulations at 10-58 or C for more information on the scope of that term. Anything else? Right?
Nope.
So that was the motion.
All right,
Second it.
you're gonna second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Judy says aye. Any opposed? Motion is passed.
I'm gonna give you, one copy that you can bring home,
Copy of what?
of the determination,
What we just said.
on what they just did.
All
what
that
they-
legal stuff.
Okay,
That just means you have to hire them.
They gave you a positive
And get it
determination.
determined.
So when you say a positive
It's
determination,
reverse logic.
Yes.
It means you positively have to get an NOI.
That it is subject to the wetland protection, Act, so that means
Yeah.
nothing else.
So-
Positive means-
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. And Judy said it means positively you have to do.
yes, well, yeah, we don't want to submit anything that's gonna come knocking back.
Yeah.
I wanna make sure.
all right.
Yeah.
I know it's not what you wanted to hear, but.
Here's one.
Oh, no.
It is what it is.
That's us. Easy. You're in the wetland area and want to cut trees down, you gotta go through the whole process.
I know that.
Well, nothing's easy.
Here you go, this is, for your records, and then this is what they determined right here, is a positive, meaning that what they said, they didn't have to get the area marked, the wetlands marked. And then, that alternative limited to the lot on which the project is located. I mean, you're not gonna put it in the project. Right. So, that's yours, and I'll be there tomorrow from, I don't know, I've been getting there at 8:30 to 12, but anytime.
Okay, thanks.
But that's the type of thing that we just did. You make sure you show to the consultant.
This here.
And any other paper, yes, that.
We probably
They know what it
shouldn't even
means.
fill this out at this point, right?
I'm sorry, sir?
We probably shouldn't even fill this out. We
No.
should let the engineer.
That
fill
is
it.
filled out.
That is-
No, that is filled out. That's what we just voted on.
The
Oh,
other
okay.
form looks similar, it's the NOI, that's the
Okay.
RDA.
Yeah, what we said is that what that form says that we just signed says you must get a consultant to continue.
Okay,
They'll know what it means.
They'll know
we don't know
what
what
it
it
is.
is, okay.
So this whole thing, this is the only thing that we're gonna show them?
Well, no, everything else you have. You want to show
Everything else.
This whole file.
every piece of paper you have, you want to have
For
available.
you guys, this is the one.
Right.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is,
you want the pictures of the barn, you want the original map you sent, you want all that stuff.
Yeah.
Any documentation we've given you, any documentation you've given us, you want available for that person.
Okay.
With that thing on top, that's the most important, but.
Yeah, my ideas, my niece lives there now. One on Mill Road.
Yeah, and on that map that I just showed you with the potential underground stream that you want to make sure you tell them that they don't miss.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell them everything.
About how we think it came to be.
Right. Because, I'm assuming anybody's gonna find that, but you don't wanna have them not find it. We'll be back in the same boat we're in.
Oh, you mean we have to tell them about the underground?
Yes, make sure they know. They should be able to find it on their own.
They should know, because they're gonna show up with the same map.
They should come up with the same maps, but if they don't. Because that's what's
But
throwing.
definitely tell them if you did work on it,
Oh, yeah.
make sure they know that, because they're not gonna know that from maps.
That's what threw up, we found.
They might know,
Oh my God.
somewhere else.
Yeah, problem.
See, and I never thought it was an issue because it's not an issue.
Well,
really had.
200 feet's a lot of distance, that's the problem.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean the underground stream,
Oh,
because I don't
but it
consider
does,
it.
it does. And if you were putting a little 10 by 10 on that would, you're putting a structure on it, so that stream comes into play.
But I guess what I'm saying is I don't even consider it a stream because it's already tied in with piping to the.
That's what the expert is to determine.
Right. We also
That's what-
actually have a catch basin right in the middle of our.
That's what they need to determine.
That's weird how that came up again.
They may just say poo-poo.
Yeah.
You don't know. That's why you have to,
Okay.
or they may say, no, you're wrong, and this is a major this and major that. That's why you get some. Because they'll help you get the stuff together so that it will pass DEP scrutiny.
Right. That's what you want to do. You don't want you to send
You don't want
something in that's
DEP
going to kick
back on.
back. No. I'm okay with that.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you very much for coming in.
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I say, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we don't want to build it. I knew we can't build it without coming here first.
Really?
I know that.
All right.
Okay.
That's good you did that.
Yeah.
All right, so are we good then? Did you go and close it?
Closing
Pick up
it
your
now.
hat.
Right?
Yeah.
Your hat cup. Your hat.
Use your hat.
Oh, yeah, we have to close this, right?
Yes.
Close the special meeting.
Yes,
So I'll
Yes.
make a motion, to close the special meetings for the placement of a new barn close to the front area of public.
19.
19 to
Second is.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Closed.
So you said 19 Chapin, but it's kind of like on 37 Chapin.
Well, let's see, that's another thing you gotta get straightened out. too.
Right, exactly. We need a real map.
All right, then. We're good.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll get working right on it.
Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow then.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, Miss Bonnie, what's next?
All right, next, there's an emergency certification form, for the VFW. Mr. Trevelyan called, last week, and he was very concerned because there was erosion, on one edge of the, structure that they have there. I don't know where they.
It's behind the deck,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
The deck that's attached to the building?
yeah.
And you already saw it as well, right,
Yeah.
in the handicap deck. And, he felt that, that the erosion was likely to enter the river. Also the steps. Why don't you, I wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw it when I was there. Yeah, they put in some steps from if you're looking at the pavilion from the deck behind the V to all the way to the left side of the deck. There's like a little way that people walk down to fish stuff in the stream, and he put two, what do they call them? Railroad ties. Yeah, and they were soaked in creosote. They put them in as steps, and then they were told to remove those, and they did remove them.
Oh, they are removed.
They're removed, yeah. They are removed now, and I believe that I don't know if he replaced them yet, but I know he was gonna go to Kibby's sawmill and get new lumber based on the recommendations that Judy gave. But yeah, they're gone now. Okay, yeah. I don't know if that was, I'm not exactly sure if that was a separate thing or if that's what he's talking about.
The road? Yeah, we thought there were two different problems. Turns out it's one problem.
So it was erosion and you put the steps in to stop it?
Stop it, right.
Okay.
But when they reported it, two different people reported it. One reported it as steps, another reported an erosion problem. We thought we had two problems.
Yep.
Turns out it's one and the same, reported differently by two different people.
So the erosion isn't the river digging a hole underneath, is it?
Into the river? No, it's not down. No,
It's people walking down the bank?
It's up. You're wearing the bank away.
Yeah.
Up
So
high.
he tried to fix it with the railroad ties, but it's the wrong area.
Yeah, are not good to use.
Yeah.
Right. You could literally smell them if you walked outside.
Yeah.
They were,
You put your nose there. You can smell the creosote.
Yeah.
So we signed an emergency form to allow him to work on that. But the whole commission has to approve that we signed because it was an emergency certification. So you need to take another vote and say that you agree with us.
On here, no. This,
Yeah, the emergency. Did you make a copy for everyone on the emergency?
this is all it was.
Yeah. That and the guideline.
What's that?
Got it, right?
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
guideline.
you don't need that.
You don't need that. No.
All you need is this.
That's a guideline.
All right, I'm gonna send this around. Ted and Judy signed the original one, which, I don't know where it ended up, but they signed it. So here's another one I made up that you can sign.
So he is gonna put more something in there. It's not the prettiest.
Yeah, he's going to get either wood or I said he could use stone or Trex, but I think he's going to use natural wood.
Yeah. Okay. I remember when I was in high school, we built hiking trails in Forest Park and we used creosote railroad ties.
Yeah.
Steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also asked him to redirect the water off of the roof that was causing most of the problem. Ted pointed out to him how it was coming down, and we asked them to put an extra
there we are, right here.
a redirector on it.
Steps can't be made of railroad, creosote railroad ties.
Yeah, I did see that.
And they must redirect that flow by either doing something to the downspouts or the gutters or something.
Okay, it says leaf removal or something.
Also, that we could tell that they hadn't been cleaning their gutters there.
Yeah, who knows? Look, you already kicked it. All the roads in Forest Park, all underneath them are all the black fly ash from the coal power plant.
Really?
Yeah, because when we had to dig there, they had to dig it was all. They had to contain it and then put it right back. Well, all those ties that we put in, they're gone. Somebody.
We have to take a vote on that?
Yes.
Okay. We have to take a vote. So we're gonna do this emergency certification for the BFW at Main Street, Hampden. Start date was June 14th, end date is July 14th. They need to stop the erosion likely to enter the river for the path of water, which they want to control by steps to hold the soil and diminish runoff. Hold the soil with steps of stone, landscaping timbers, or composites, but not railroad ties. Use 12 by 12 timber, stone, or composite such as Trex. And these conditions are the same. Steps not to be made of creosote railroad ties, and steps must be taken to diminish the water flow from the building location of the runoff tubes, i.e. downspouts, and cleaning of the gutters. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Andrew, at the last meeting, you were talking about, Bennett Road,
But, oh. Yeah.
Bennett Road and
I think Ted was, because I wasn't here for last.
oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I mentioned it because he mentioned it. We just
Oh.
mentioned it in passing. We were looking
So
for
there was
a description from you.
Yeah, there was a property we went to that people were.
There's a fire.
No, it's farther up. There used to be a construction company up there. They used to have a barn out back. It's the house to the left. I don't know that. The driveway goes way back. There's like a little stream back there.
You got it.
Driveway. I don't remember
They
the
wanted to
address.
build
I
a
have to look
house?
at it. What?
They wanted to build a house?
No. So it wasn't.
They had a fire, an
We
emergency
got
fire.
called to a brush fire. Okay. And they were there, they've got a big camper and all kinds of stuff, but they were pushing the stuff back in. You could see the wetlands, are there. It's obvious, so I just thought we would send out a notice to, hey, why don't you come in? Not give anybody any, discipline letter or whatever you want to call it, but just call them in to say, hey, you guys are here, just give you a heads up, this is what's behind you, if you continue, you end up with.
Is it the house with the horses? Front.
No, not horses. The yellow house on the left, when I came up.
I think I know it.
And they got a big camper, they got a huge tractor and stuff.
So they're putting stuff on the wetland area?
They're starting to push the stuff back, which is getting.
The debris, they're pushing into the.
They're pushing a lot of debris. Yeah, it's not like it's trash or anything like that. It's not equipment, but the land is getting more and more cleared as a parking lot, I guess, parking space. And the debris and stuff is getting pushed farther back.
The first one today is the same thing.
Yeah.
Theirs is on the sideline. Yeah. And the previous owners, and these people were somewhat guilty too. They're pushing their
Yard waste.
Their yard waste and stuff into the wetlands.
I just wanted to bring it up to say, hey.
So you don't have a number of.
I'll have to go.
Can you look on your records again?
I'll have to look at it, yeah. Just to, send a notice, hey, come into the conservation meeting, we just want to have a conversation and say, hey, this is what you have here, show them the map and say, before it becomes a problem. Because I know a lot of people don't pay attention or understand what the wetland piece is, so. Look at it.
Well, I can easily send that out, but I can't put yellow house on the left.
Yeah. No, I get it, I'll go.
Thanks, I'll do that.
Any other input, Judy?
On this case, no.
No. Okay. If you get the address.
Yeah, to the address.
Bonnie can format, Judy and Bonnie can format all that.
Yeah.
Also, everybody has one of these in their file. It's just a, or if you don't, I have extra here. The GZA went out and looked at Casabella. Remember when they had the problem of filling in the riverfront?
They put the septic.
Well, they had a septic system and they had the parking lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got this letter from GZA the other day, even though it's reported May 10th, it just came in this week on the, and they were pretty happy with the restoration. So I just wanted.
They're going to check it again in September.
You don't really need it, but what?
What'd you say?
They're going to check it again in September.
Oh, okay.
Then I think they're finished. Pretty sure.
Judy has on here, Paradise Lane.
Yeah, what is
Paradise Lane, Summers Road. We got a notice from National Grid. that they were going in and there was I don't think there was a riverfront, it was just wetlands, to do, replacing 3 or 4 poles and cutting some trees and picking up dead trees.
It was storm damage.
Paradise Lane was a slight misnomer. If you know Paradise Lane, where it goes off of Summers Road and Paradise Lane loops around the pond down there. Well, they were actually going on a feeder driveway off of actually Summers. Because Judy and I had time to figure it out, so I figured it out. But they've already been there and working on it and replacing the poles and picking up the mess from a storm, I guess. A tree came down and messed up all the poles and other trees. So they were already there working. So this is just an informational thing that they were doing.
So Paradise is actually off of Isaac Bradway.
Right off Isaac Bradway. But if you look at it on the map, it curves on a loop and then kind of dies. But if you're on Summers Road, there's a little narrow dirt road that goes in that actually.
So it's an old paper street.
Yeah, it's an old paper street and it actually connects.
Yeah.
And the poles actually feed in, not on Paradise, but they actually feed in on the old paper road.
Yeah.
Oh. Which is probably somebody's driveway now, right?
Yeah, it's a glorified driveway. Yeah. But that's where the
poles faded away. So
yeah. So that was there. What else do you want to do next? The Emerald Borderlands.
Oh, I just want people to know, they're working on the CRs and the grants and everything to get those 2 properties down by the border, the McKinsey and Morton properties.
The big lots off of South Road and Chapin Road that actually combine.
Yes.
200 something acres.
Right
yeah.
Right at the Connecticut line.
And the federal program provides 75%, but the OPACOM and the people that want it to happen have to come up with the other 25%. So I'm writing a grant, a turtle grant, same as we used for Westbrook, to help fill in the 25% for the Morton property.
Okay.
OPACOM is doing one for the McKenzie property, and they're eventually going to buy the McKenzie property and it will become passive recreation land. So that would be cool. So just so you know, I'm working on it.
Good.
Drescher Road.
That's Al Joyce.
Yeah, we figured out that apparently quite a while ago, he changed over from doing solar to doing 5 houses. And he got his natural heritage letter then. And then when we figured it out, we sent him a letter saying, if you're changing from solar to houses, you got to go back to natural heritage. But he sent us the natural heritage letter, which said he could have 5 houses. So he had started work on 2 houses within the timeline for keeping that designation. So he doesn't need to do anything, and neither do we.
Because emails were passing, Judy and Bonnie put a note out to him, you were working on solar, if you're going to do this, the houses, you got to redo national heritage. But I found an email he had sent with an attachment that he had already done that. So it was a little confusing because of the way emails were passing. But anyhow, that Drescher Road project is all houses, no more solar.
He's coming into the January.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
January.
Yeah, he's not coming in for that one. He's coming in for 2 lots on Chapin.
Okay.
In January.
In January.
No, I'm sorry, July.
Oh,
the July meeting.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's
Good plan.
Yeah. And we also have an NOI coming in, an AMRAD coming in July, also on all of that tree cutting on Allen Street, right next to Billy Bond's Chapter Lane house. And Pete Levesque, they hired him and he did a whole AMRAD marking out where the wetlands are and all that. And he will be doing a presentation in July as well. And next Tuesday, our meeting is on Tuesday because I couldn't get the auditorium on Wednesday next week. And that
special meeting.
And that is a special meeting, and that is on the diesel oil spill on Glendale. and they filed a notice of intent, and they have worked with Mark Stinson from the state on that as well.
Look at that.
Oh, 3-4 years. What
3
happened,
years.
they did a cleanup, and then DEP rejected that it wasn't good enough. So to redo.
It happened 2 years
You
ago.
can't tell. when you
So
drive by it.
is this an oil tank that they had in their?
It was a
area?
truck that,
Oh, a truck that fell over.
a truck that fell. Yeah.
And I'm assuming it was all the diesel.
357 Linden, how far? is
That's
that?
right at the corner, you
Ridge.
know where, Glendale Estates is?
It's right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Right there
at
where
that
the brook's
corner.
are.
So you've
Oh, wow.
got the big brook right there.
Yep, right there.
The one where we go to keep, they want to keep building that house.
Yeah, the one we had the house problems, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right there on Glendale.
Yeah.
Do we need to do a site visit on Allen Street? At
On
some point?
Allen Street, yeah, we will. It's
Yeah.
not until, I don't know, July 21st, something like that.
After they come
Yeah.
in?
No.
You might want to do you want to do a site visit at 357?
Well, people are gonna be on vacation.
Hold on, repeat, Judy?
Do they want to do a site visit at 357? Or just use maps?
You mean at the diesel oil spill?
Yes.
I think you just do a drive-by. I did a drive-by already. There's nothing to see.
There isn't anything to see.
I just drove. by.
Okay, good.
It's all in the soil.
Yeah.
All right.
So, no, but the one on Allen Street.
Yeah.
Will need it.
Yeah.
With Pete. Oh, that was one thing I was wondering if you guys, I know it's a really tough working and then trying to go to a site inspection. Would Saturday mornings be better, or, and we can do site inspections now if we only have one, it could be as late as 6:30 at night.
Evenings is fine, but
Yeah.
look at now.
With you guys all gone, it's been mostly Tom and I.
Yeah.
It's been like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not your fault.
I'll be around now, so.
yeah, I should be more around during the
But would you prefer evenings or Saturdays?
I think evenings,
Evenings.
personally.
Weekends I usually have my. Yeah, Saturdays are tough.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't like Saturdays either, but I just
Well,
throw
especially,
it out there.
especially it's weekends of going places, so.
Yeah.
So you'd rather do this?
Yeah, especially not for the summer.
Okay, so what's?
Bonnie, is Al Joyce is going to take a site visit as well, I would presume?
Al Joyce, which?
The Chapin Lot 2?
Oh, Chapin.
Lot 2?
Well, that they're also coming in the July meeting, so we could easily do that. We've got a month,
Yeah, do them together.
so.
Remember you guys.
Yeah, what time you guys?
Out of
gonna be
work
home?
and everything.
Yeah, well, it's a good
Not
night.
being a working man no more.
Yeah.
Listen,
I don't have that problem.
Neither do I got laid off.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
You got laid off?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm not working right now. So I can do whenever, kind of.
Yeah, I'm available.
I don't know
Well,
when
that
my
leaves
next.
you-
you're out of luck.
Yeah.
If I could hire these guys to help me, then I would be able to make. I'm all over this. I'm all over 3 states now.
Really?
Yeah,
Where?
Connecticut, Mass, and New Hampshire.
Oh, New Hampshire?
Wow.
New Hampshire's up there.
You know what I wanted, this had nothing to do with conservation, but I might as well put it out there that, well, my husband's on the Eastern something Veterans Board for, this area. And we're in desperate need of a veteran agent for, Hampden, East Long Meadow, and Wales. The salary is $70,000, a year.
So,
Huh?
the Veteran Service Office.
Yeah. CFO.
Yeah,
Would you do
and,
that?
you would have, office.
You're back, right?
There's an office in Hampden, there's an office in East Long Meadow, and in Wales, where you wouldn't spend much time, because they do it by population. You meet somewhere in Wales. They do send you to training, that they pay for, so you don't have to worry about that, and,
It's not full time.
yeah, it's full time.
Basically, it is.
It's,
70 grand.
it's 40 hours, and you spend most of the hours at your office in East Long Meadow, and then you spend, you know, I don't know what it is, 30% of the time here and maybe 10% in Wales, something like that.
And then once in a while, the various senior centers, and only because I'm a volunteer, we ask the VSO to come to our veterans, breakfast or lunch we have once in a while. And, you know, you don't have to come to every one, but once in a while, it's nice to have them stop by and give a little spiel to the, that's when we meet.
That'd be nice if they actually had someone here, because I usually go to once.
Yeah. Well, you could be that.
I was going,
I can't work full time. I have veteran pensions.
oh God.
Part time I can do.
Yeah, I was working with Wilbraham to try to get my benefits increased, and Wilbraham clamped down and said the Wilbraham agent can't work with anybody outside of town anymore.
I was gonna say, there's a guy, BFW, but I think he might be the one from Wilbraham.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. They won't allow him anymore. They cut me off.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
So I actually went to Summers for a meeting the other day to get some help. And they said, welcome in.
Well, yeah.
And that's across the line besides the different.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys know of anybody that would be interested, it's pretty good salary. I mean, it's not, you know, I mean.
That's more than I made at the USGS. That's for sure.
So, it's out there anyway. They really need somebody. Like I said, the training is all included. So that's that.
What else we got here?
Hey, welcome back, John and Greg.
Yeah.
We're glad to see them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Finally done.
Full house.
Cool.
Are you done? Or are you
Done.
You get a degree?
Yep. Yeah.
What
And no
is it?
job.
No job. Yeah. I got a master's in mechanical engineering.
Master's in mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
Then why the hell don't you fix this problem?
I know. I figured he had it under control.
Well,
He tried all the things I was gonna try.
Do you have an update on the agent?
The last thing we got from them, we've heard nothing. If you guys don't know, we're trying to get a professional conservation agent into the group. Somebody's gonna make 70 grand a year. We've tried a bunch of towns. They've all backed out at the last minute. The last one we're working on is Granby.
Yeah, but we haven't
Granby.
heard from Granby at all.
We haven't heard from them, but he just sent out, Mr. Marco, our town administrator, just sent out a note that they're gonna meet next week or this week. So it may come back, but if we're holding our breath because since it didn't go through the first time, I doubt it's gonna, so we're gonna be back to zero.
The email I saw from Bob. Just. Hold on.
Yeah. Could he, I don't know, how many hours can you work? 24?
No, this is something else.
It would have
Just
to
talk
be.
to Bob, right? Go in and talk to Bob or email him.
I'm sorry, Judy, say that again?
That he could go in and talk to Bob or email him.
Oh, yeah. You could always go talk to Bob.
Yeah.
Maybe if nothing else, if you're interested in doing it, they could just say, heck with it and do Hampden only.
Oh.
You wouldn't, I don't know what they'd come up with money for you, that's the problem. For only 24 hours.
It's a VSO position, those are pretty cool.
Mm.
I would do.
No, ask for money.
Yeah.
Don't do
I'm
nothing.
gonna do a part time for 7. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking to do
Part time for 70,000. There you go. Right.
Right. Doesn't matter, right? It's the hours, right?
The dollar amount there.
Oh,
Can't make that much.
Well, it's out there.
Talk to Bob.
Yeah. You know, Mr. Markle?
No, I know of him.
Yes.
So,
Nice
is
guy.
that it?
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Ex-mayor of Springfield.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Pardon, Judy?
I move that we adjourn.
Okay.
It's a tough.
Yeah, Judy wants to get along. Judy made a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah, I gotta get to bed anyway. Heading to Kingsburg in the morning.
I gotta go out for